it's not our job to find him a new location. We can certainly move him in the right direction and suggest certain avenues. But
Mr. Lee? So it seems like there's not a real good location in mind right now.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Lee. I haven't done any research on it, so off the top of my head, I can't say, yeah, right here would be perfect. I can't say that.
With all due respect, wouldn't that be our job?
You have anything in mind?
No, I don't, actually.
Yeah, I'd need a little time. I can't think right off the top of my head. I'd have to do some research.
That's why, with all due respect, if not here, then where? That's my first point. Second point is, if the city and the resident of Azusa has been speaking with the owner of this building, this property for so long, and nothing has been done, shouldn't we ask why? Is it maybe because we have no teeth? Mr. Watson has teeth because he can withhold rent. There's a duty of the landlord to provide a usable location to the tenants. And as if that contract, that agreement is broken, Mr. Watson has the power to withhold rent. We don't. We can fine them $50, $100 to clean up the trash. But Mr. Watson can withhold, I don't know what the rent is over there. If you don't mind me asking really quick. I'm not paying you $5,000 this month because outside smells like pee. Can you power that wash tonight or else I'm not paying? That's teeth. And that is why nobody's been listening to it, because do you know why? Gee, Florida, Mexico's gone, so there's no bite there. The rest is empty. Buy Low's gone. Firestone is gone. The clothing shop that they're trying to take over has been empty since 13. So ghosts have no teeth. I don't know. Sorry about that. So of course nothing's being done because there's nobody with the power to say, you know what? If you don't address this issue right now, I'm not paying rent. Me as a resident of Azusa, what can I do? I can go find the property manager and say, ooh, you need to clean it up. And as good business people, they should heed my comments, of course. But why would they? But Mr. Watson has the power. I've made mistakes before. I hear new things. I think differently. I remember last hearing, I said, why don't we use some type of revenue replacement thing where, we don't feel so bad, even though it's not retail, that we can get enough license fee back. But looking at this crowd, they're coming into Azusa because of that. I mean, like you said, majority of the people are not from Azusa. So they're going to come in, probably going to eat before or eat afterwards. My thing is, I can't believe the little restaurant next door to that proposed location is not here to say we need to open this, because his business is probably going to grow tremendously because of that. He should have been here, actually. And so, of course they're going to go eat before and afterwards. And as for why is open late, well, as you can see, majority of them are professionals. They go to work. They get off at work 6, 7, 8, go home, relax a little bit. Then they go to their after-work activities, right? If you have them closed at 8 or 9, by the time these people show up, it's closed. That's why they have to be open that late, because do you really want a place that's closed at 5? And what does that say about the type of people that go there then? If you can go to a place before 5, right? And side story, I'll give 2 side stories. How's that? I did my undergraduate at USC. You know what's underneath the law school? An arcade. It's about the size of half of this dais, and my favorite game there was Raiden. At USC Law School, there's an arcade down there. Why they do that? Stress reliever. I frequented it many times. Number 2, I grew up in Arcadia. lived in LA for 3 years, lived in Pasadena for 4 years. I've been in here for 11 years already. And so when I bought my house, I was 25, single. One day I went to Stater Brothers when I first moved in. I found some people, and it sounds funny. I said, "Hey guys, what's your fun thing to do in Azusa at night here?" I was 25, single, new to the city, right? I kid you not, this is what this person said, and he was serious about it. "There's Donut Man." Just in case nobody knows what Donut Man is, it's a donut shop that's open 24 hours a day.
In Glendora.
In Glendora!
True.
So that's the hot thing in town. 11 years later, Donut Man still. When I was in Pasadena, we go to Old Town. Wow. And come on. Right? And how are we going to attract the next generation of young professionals to want to live in Azusa with awesome housing? You want to give them something to do at night, right? Because they're thinking, should I live in Pasadena or Monrovia or, near the beaches or in Azusa? Where should I live? They're going to consider many things, right? Of course, housing, cost, and also nightlife. What do we have to attract that next generation of young professionals? If you say Donut Man, Glendora is going to get that group then. So like I said, I've made mistakes before, and they have educated me, and I said, you know what? If anything, I want them to somehow encourage them to show up now because I want that disposable money that they can bring from other cities to spend at the restaurants here. That's my thinking. And if we're waiting for another retail store to show up there, we can. That thing's been empty since 2013. We can. But come on. Times change. I know this might sound funny, but I don't buy my clothes at the mall. I don't think anybody probably can't believe that. But yeah, I order all my clothes online. So that's why maybe that clothing shop went out of business. Right? Today's Amazon Day, right? Prime Day, right? That changed the business of bookstores. Why do you think a lot of bookstores are closing? So we can keep waiting for some unicorn bookstore or clothing store that wants to open there. And it's like, but let's hold off to it. Let's hold off. We're going to have a retail store so we get sales tax. Or we have a current viable applicant with current market share, and you've seen how he does business. I mean, somebody coming all the way from East Coast just to speak on his behalf. That's got to say a whole lot. And if we partner with Mr. Watson, he's going to have the teeth to make sure the residents around that shopping center will have the clean place. Because, let's repeat this word track. If you don't clean up, I'm not paying rent tomorrow. That's the word track Mr. Watson's going to use. $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. Is that power now? I think that's a whole lot more power. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a much cleaner situation after Mr. Watson says that. And of course, the gym's going to do the same thing now too, right? That's power. That's all I have to say.